What's up, all my Nakama that's out there in the world of One Piece? Welcome back to another episode of Road Talk. Here at Road Talk, we will be doing the chapter review of 1045 of One Piece. And right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was kind of conflicted reading this chapter. It was some things that I did really enjoy about the chapter, and there was some things that I just wasn't really feeling. And Oda was in his bag once again, but it just was some things. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it right now. So without further ado, let's go! So this chapter picks up where we left off last chapter with Kaido and Luffy. They were sparring again. I should say actually not Luffy, but Joy Boy Luffy. Luffy and Kaido was fighting again amongst themselves, and the fight was continually on top of the rooftop of Onishigima. Kaido noticed that Luffy power was truly awakened because Luffy was now able to start bouncing off the ground like he was at a bouncy house or some type of amusement park, just bouncing off the ground, and he was just using it as like a trampoline. And he was like, okay, Luffy, I can see that you finally awakened your power, but also something is not adding up to me. Normally, when people are transforming into a different form like you just did, that is a Zoan. So what is actually going on? So Kaido is starting to know something is amiss, and when Kaido figure out that Luffy is Joy Boy, that's gonna be devastated to him. Or Kaido is gonna be like, yes, I can finally fight Joy Boy. Okay, if I fight Joy Boy, I'm gonna find some type of way of getting that power, just like Blackbeard did with Whitebeard. So I feel like that's either the two options that Kaido will have when he finds out that Luffy is Joy Boy. Like last chapter when we was doing our review, we was talking about that Luffy is very loony right now. He's acting like Bugs Bunny, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Road Runner, Popeye, and all that. And it continued on in this panels and in this chapter because Luffy gets digested into Kaido's stomach because he was just, afloat, this hanging around in the clouds, just chilling. Luffy was posing in while he was jumping in scared in the air, and Kaido decided at that moment to attack Luffy and go ahead and eat him. But Luffy was not going out like that, and everybody could have saw this coming when Luffy decides to go to balloon form inside Kaido's stomach, making it look like Kaido was pregnant. That's what I just was looking like. That dead Kaido, you just gained some weight on you real quick. Luffy gave you that baby. Guys, after Luffy was bouncing around in Kaido's stomach, it came out to Luffy had to find a way out to escape. And he saw Kaido eyes, and the Kaido eyes is the only light that was in there. So Luffy decides to, at that moment, use his powers and to stretch his arms out of Kaido's eyes. And at the same time, I'm really confused about this, and this is something that I wish it was more clearer to understand. But it's either two things. Luffy actually put holes through Kaido's eyes, which doesn't make sense, or two, that Luffy is using his awakening powers on Kaido's body, making Kaido's body, I should say, rubbery. So now when he's pushing through Kaido's eyes, it's just his hands is stretching Kaido's eyes out, if that makes any type of sense. And then also at the end of the chapter, it's another example of that. It's when Luffy does that, he uses that as a grip to find his way out, and then he shoots out Kaido's mouth, I should say, just like the way he entered. And it was like some comic gag with that too, because Kaido was belching and looked like he was throwing up a big Luffy. But guys, it was just some of these things that it is very goofy and Luffy with this that I do enjoy. It was just that I don't enjoy the serious nature of the whole war. It's seeming like it's just becoming a big old gag now. But back in Marineford, you had seriousness throughout that whole entire thing. Impale Down, you had seriousness entire to the whole entire thing. Water 7, seriousness. It just seems like now, which is great writing by Oda, honestly, that since Luffy has become Joy Boy, it won't be no more seriousness. It's always gonna be funny and comical nature to wherever Luffy goes, and that's something that Oda has delivered perfectly, because I do not feel like that when reading One Piece right now. Between this Luffy and Kaido fight, I feel like this is just a big joke now. But also at the exact same time, I really do miss the serious nature about when Luffy wasn't Joy Boy at that time. It was just like something that felt great to read. Like, it brought that dramatic feeling into it. Now it just feels like a Looney Tune that is gonna always be something randomly popping out, and it's just not really having that same emotional impact that it did before. But once again, I'm just conflicted by how I personally feel about it. I like both ways, and just the story is having a different vibe to it now. Just like I was talking about some serious things, it continued on. After Luffy escaped Kaido and being in his balloon form, Luffy used all that air that was inside his stomach and to shoot out into the clouds like he's honestly a balloon. So after he does that, and Kaido looks up to the sky like, what is going on? Something is coming out of that sky that Luffy just came from. And behold, guys, it was something that every fan in One Piece, and especially following Luffy, how he showed his gear third, thought that he would do one day. But we finally have it. We finally have gigantic Luffy. I mean, Luffy looked so big. Luffy is a giant now, and he is towering above Kaido, which Kaido before was just this dramatically huge person that Luffy was always fighting against. But now Luffy flipped those roles, and this is something that I love to see, because if Luffy can find some way and to hold that power for a long period of time and use all his previous techniques, his awakening, his haki, his advanced haki, his King Conqueror's advanced haki, that is, I don't know how anybody can stop that at all in the world of One Piece, because that Luffy would just be a straight just giant to everybody. But Luffy decides to start jumping rope with Kaido. He picks him up and starts jumping rope, double dutching him, and this is something I meant, like, this is something I was talking about, the serious nature. So I was expecting Luffy just going to stump down on him, or just, put him, do something to him that would seem dramatic and affect him. But he just made him really dizzy at this moment, and he was just jumping a rope like he was getting ready for a boxing match. But Kaido was not having none of that. Kaido said, I'm still a Yonko. You have to show me some respect still. And Kaido shoots his dragon breath, his blast breath, at Luffy, and Luffy was down for a little while. But Luffy wasn't having it once again. After Kaido brought that dramatic feeling back, Luffy says, this is my panels now. I'm gonna make this funny again. And then this is when Luffy starts to basically act like some type of propeller and start moving his feet real fast in the air to go back and attack Kaido. It really just felt like some Bugs Bunny, Looney Tune type of thing, how Luffy feet was on fire as he was running towards Kaido. But Kaido, I appreciate him just because he is bringing the serious nature once again back into the One Piece. And Kaido said, hey man, stop playing around with me. Take this fight more seriously. As Luffy was charging into him, he slams on Luffy's head on top of the Onigashima, and Luffy's head went straight down into the Onigashima. Most people would have thought, before the next panels was showing, that Luffy would have just hit his head and got back up. But Oda was like, no, this is Joy Boy here. This is Joy Boy Luffy. Let's make this funny as possible. And that's exactly what Luffy did and Oda did. When Luffy got hit on his head, his whole giant face went down into, it looked at everybody with his eyes bulging out. And it looked kind of scary, low-key. Just imagine this big old head just popping out of nowhere with his eyes rocking it out to you. And everybody that was looking at Luffy at the time, their eyes was popping back at Luffy like, what the heck is going on? This is a big old giant thing that's coming through the wall and screaming, like, basically. And it was just another comic relief of Joy Boy. Basically, this is something that we're gonna have from now on every time Luffy is Joy Boy. Just get ready for it, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is what's gonna happen. And after Luffy pulled himself out of the hole that was on the top of the rooftop, Luffy starts to fade away with his powers. You can see the white hair leaving him. You can start to see that Luffy is starting to look like an old man at this point, and he's just looking like he's dried up. And that is when Kaido starts saying, hey, you put up a good fight. Everybody will be talking about you. Make sure I put some respect on your name, but this is the end of the line for you. And something about when Luffy is getting his powers drained out, it just really it's like a daunting feeling. Back when Luffy was using this gear second, it was always that, hey, you taking some years out your life because you're using this gear second. So I just always thought as it progressed with his powers, his gear third, that would have took some more off, and then gear 4 probably took some more off, and now he's using gear 5, which is kind of scary to me in a way, because and especially seeing his powers, I'm not sure if that was the result from already taking a hit from Kaido previously, or is that something that is a drawback from the devil fruit powder, that it will start to take away some years of his life. Something that I just really don't want is to Luffy to end of this One Piece era is to have Luffy dead, and I really don't hope that it will happen, but it's looking like Oda is trying to foreshadow this right now. And maybe the One Piece is some type of antidote for Joy Boy to live forever. Maybe that could be it, and that's something that is yet to be told. But I really just reading how Luffy was drying out and how weakly he was looking, and how he was saying, yeah, I was dying before I got into this awakening mode. It's just something that is daunting for me and scary for me. Might be scary for me, but it's not scary for Luffy. Luffy said, you think I'm afraid of death? He said, I gotta do this job. And then he clicks that switch back into Gear 5th, which was a joy to see that he was able to go back quickly. It wasn't no drawback like when he was in Gear 4th and how he had to wait 10 minutes. He instantly went back to that. And that was something that was cool to see. And once Luffy was back in Gear 5th, Kaido didn't waste no time to attack that man. He straight went back in the back of his head. Will Smith slapped him with his club. And once he did that, Luffy looked like really like off of like anime TV shows. I forget the name of the character, but he looked like this one character. I'm gonna find it out in a clip. I'm gonna put it right here. And that's the person that he did look like. He wasn't done there. He was gonna let Kaido hit him like that, and that'd be the end of the tale. So after he got hit, Luffy started doing like some spinning move and moving around like a Beyblade, and or that like the dude from Hunter x Hunter. He just started spinning in a circle, and this is when Kaido started to really look at Luffy in a different way and started to give off characteristics that we as a reader didn't really know about right then. Kaido was like, what does this all mean? He used the armament of Supreme Kings and can transfer his powers to other things. I never seen a freewheeling combat before. But Kaido was like, there's no one in this world that can beat me. And after Kaido said that, I would just go like, dang, I didn't know Luffy was using haki at the time. Maybe it was just that invisible haki that we cannot see. So, or that Ryo haki, maybe it was something like that in a way. But if Luffy's doing all that while spinning in that motion, and let's think about all the stuff that Luffy has done so far. It's running on air for one. He has been able to stretch into be a gigantic form. He is still using haki, and he is still just showing balloons in Kaido's stomach, being able to make Kaido into rubber, making his environment around to rubber. It's legit. He can do basically whatever his mind lets him creatively do. So that is something to behold, but I just wish it was a little bit more serious nature about Luffy in this fight. But after Kaido was talking and saying no one can beat him in this world, Luffy said, let me shut him up real quick. Let me show him that I'm gonna start just be a little bit more serious. Oda was like, he already knew what I wanted. So Luffy decides to send this, like, I don't even know what you can even call this, Beyblade spinning bird kick, bird punch. Like, he sends it right into Kaido's head. It seems like Luffy can make Kaido rubber, and he made his eyes stretch. Does that really hurt Kaido? That's for one thing. And because next thing is when Kaido gets punched in the face by Luffy, Luffy sends Kaido's face super far back, and Kaido back of his head is going extendo, like it's going like behind his head, and Kaido falls to the ground. And Luffy said, isn't this fun, Kaido, this fight that we're having? And I'm really confused because I don't know how bad that really can hurt Kaido. I would assume that if Luffy didn't make his face, Kaido's face into rubber, I think that would have hurt more. But as Luffy's made him into rubber, it kind of took away some of the impact of the stretch. But maybe I could be reading wrong. Maybe Oda is like saying science is not really science like that in this world. If I punched him all the way, if Luffy's showing that he punched through his head, that is just meaning flat out that it was like a bullet that went through Kaido's head, and that's how strong that Luffy is right now. Before I let you guys go, it's just one thing that I want to talk about real quick, and that is Law and Luffy. So everybody know that Law has this capability of guaranteeing somebody external affinity life for forever. So my one thing is, if Luffy is gonna risk his life completely in this arc, if that is what Oda is trying to foreshadow Luffy for saying that he's not scared to die, or he was dying before Kaido made him get in his awakening powers, like, will Law use his mortality powers on Luffy and give up his life for Luffy's life? Everybody kind of predicted this back years ago when we first heard about this powers with Law, but it's kind of seeming like it's getting real close, and that's something I don't want, because Law does have his own dream now. He wants to see what the Will of D really means. So it's just something I don't like when people lose their dreams. So hopefully it doesn't come to that point, and maybe they could find out a way to keep Luffy to survive longer. But it's really starting to seem like that is a strong possibility now. And maybe Luffy won't be immortal, but maybe since Luffy probably will be dead completely after losing, after defeating Kaido, he might be dead afterward. Maybe some type of way Law can give up his life, and that could just be a wash then. Law gives up his life and gives his life to Luffy, and Luffy has a life of Law's. He doesn't have the immortal life. If Luffy was still alive at the time and Law did perform that surgery, then that would have been eternal life. So that's just something that I just had like a quick little thing in my head. I'm like just thinking about, and I just really hope it doesn't really come down to that. But guys, it was fun once again to go through this review with you. I did have an enjoyment of the time. I had, get it? Enjoy? I said joy? Okay, y'all get it. But I did have a great time doing this review. I am happy that we don't have a break next week, so we get to see more of this epic One Piece battle between Luffy and Kaido, and hopefully we can get some Zoro news, because right now it said in SBS 102, I believe, that Zoro is stronger than Sanji. So all my Sanji's fanboys out there, hey, we still love you. You know what? But you know, Zoros be higher. Y'all just a little lower. Y'all on the level with Jinbei. But anyways, guys, it was fun once again. I'll see you later. Until the next time, guys, peace.